All right, well, welcome back to Cut the Slack. This is, what are we, in May now of
End of
2020?
May. Yep. Coming
It's a
up
little
on
hard to
June.
keep up with the days, but we're in May, and we've been in quarantine for quite a while now. It started in March, went through April, now we're in May. We're almost done with May, which is, so it's, time is flying by, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we've been in quarantine. We've seen a lot of things happen, and there's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of fear. There's been a lot of things going on in the media, and of course, people aren't really sure what to believe in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I haven't shaved in about 5 weeks.
It's looking good. I was gonna say it's a good look, man. I really
Thanks.
dig it.
I'm trying it
Hell
out.
yeah.
A little bit of wisdom growing out here in the front, hopefully.
Yeah, man.
But so the thing about it is, obviously, a lot of people were afraid. A lot of people, were trying to do research to figure out what they could glean and try to have some kind of understanding of what's happening. There's been a lot of negative. There's been a lot of negative that has come out. Obviously, the media loves the negativity and all that. So we want to do something a little bit different today, and that is talk about the positives of the quarantine, really.
Yeah.
COVID was the reason for the quarantine, but the quarantine is what's changed our life.
Right.
Where we're at a certain point, we weren't able to go really anywhere. We couldn't go to many stores unless it was an essential grocery store. Couldn't go to concerts. Couldn't go to restaurants. Couldn't go to the bowling alley. Couldn't go to the gym. And again, that came down as a lot of negatives, and a lot of people felt like our freedom was being infringed upon. But even still, I've had a few moments that were really pretty amazing and peaceful.
Yeah.
There was some time we did get a chance to go to an Airbnb in Sedona. Had a nice time there in nature. My daughters came home from school, and I've spent more time with them than I ever have. And good time, like
Yeah.
just sitting on the couch, not even watching TV, but sitting on the couch talking. And
Those are the best times.
Yeah.
Connection. Yeah.
Very much so, and we've gotten closer. And all we were doing. There wasn't any parenting going on. It was really just being friends. Like, you're here, I'm here. What do you think about this? Tell me your thoughts. And we got closer, dude.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really really cool. So, what are some of the things that you've experienced that are positive from this whole thing?
Well, we spent the weekend in Phoenix, so we went to Arizona because there's freedom out there. We were chasing freedom for a few days, and everything's still locked down in California. So we found a hotel out there, and the pools were open.
Okay.
And so yeah, we had basically a poolside day after day. Good time under the sun with a lot of different people.
Sure.
And it was great. It's the conversation started off kind of like, we're here for freedom.
Sure.
We're here because we want to connect with people. We
Yeah.
want to talk. We want to shake hands. We want to hug. We want to have that social interaction,
Sure.
And that's what I think, where things have gone astray here, where it's like we're debating whether to be healthy or to revive the economy, as if they're different things. And they're not. It's all health. It's social connection breeds good mental health. And
That's true.
And the lack of social interaction creates more mental illness, more confusion, doubt, anger, that separation of people. That isolation it's a punishment, and so people want to connect. I spent 3 days. I'm burnt. I'm so burnt, sunburnt, but it was just great,
Yeah.
meeting different people. Some people came in from different states, and they're all there for the same thing.
Yeah, I think
connection.
Something that comes out of it, and what you're kind of getting at here is when we took it for granted. We took human connection and interaction for granted. And on the positive side of that, when quarantine happened and we were all staying home, and we all did it. We all stayed home for a long time and
Right.
kind of kept to ourselves and just text and call people. But it made you realize real quickly how valuable that interaction, that social interaction was, whether it was with your friends, your family, or in this case, complete strangers, and you guys were able to bond together, and because of that fact that you were both deprived a little bit of that social interaction, you made the choice to stay home and separate yourself from a lot of people for health reasons. But now that we see that things can be safe,
Right.
they can be safe. You can have safe interactions. You really realize how valuable that social interaction was.
Yeah.
I took it for granted.
Yeah.
Because we'd go and have a barbecue with friends, and we'd bounce out to Phoenix or Northern California or wherever, and we were constantly interacting socially. So it didn't seem like that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But when it's gone, then now you're starved for that, and just to find somebody in a pool
That's it.
to talk to
Yeah.
is like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. And everyone was on the same vibe, like it's just crazy to see, because we're having all these different, you were talking about separation earlier.
Yeah.
And how, we are all one. We think we're separate because this is my body. This is what I can control. And that's you.
Yeah.
But we are different points of perspective of the same origin.
Sure.
I guess you could say. And it's part of our mental health to connect with each other and have conversations,
Right.
and feel the energy exchange between people.
Yeah.
You can't just stare at a piece of plastic. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Yeah, and even doing Zooms, I did a few Zooms with people, and that was cool.
Yeah.
But it's not like this, man. It's not like this where we're sitting with each other in the same space. There is some kind of an energy exchange that happens here that's way better than a two-dimensional flat screen on a Zoom. I think that's one of the big positives that I've come away with, is that we do need human interaction. We do need each other.
It is essential.
Yeah, it's essential, man.
Yeah.
I would say so. That a lot of things. That word got thrown around a lot during the quarantine,
Dude.
And there was some gray areas as to what was essential and what was not. But I feel like this is definitely part of that. It's something that we need to thrive and survive, and survive and also thrive.
Right.
As human beings. And when you talk about the separation, I spent some time thinking about that, and it's so, as I really pondered the amount of separation we have, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
The fact that we separate ourselves as a country from other countries, the fact that we even drill down farther and separate ourselves from other states, because we're not like other states here in California. We're all so different. And then we separate ourselves into county. We think we're so cool because we're California. Other people don't. New York, Texas, they might not think we're that cool. But we think we're cool. But then we even go farther than that, and we say we're not like NorCal. We're not like Northern California.
Yeah.
We're definitely not like Berkeley and San Francisco down here in Southern California. And we separate ourselves even more, and then now we're in Riverside County, and Orange County is way better.
Right.
Yeah. So it just blows my mind and makes me think about, how we really are one. We're earthlings, man.
Right.
We are earthlings on Earth. And just like the Independence Day movie that I mentioned before, if someone came down and attacked Earth as aliens, we'd all of a sudden forget about, you're in Somalia, you're in U.S., you're in Guatemala. No, we're all trying to survive this.
It's unified at that point.
As humans, as earthlings, and I don't know. That I got thinking about that a lot during COVID. So one thing that this virus scare and the quarantine has brought to us is that we do need people, and we do need interaction, and it's very, very important. And everything that happened was very scary. And we took some precautions for good reason, to make sure that not a lot of people, or as few people as possible, got sick and or perished. But we learned, man, that human interaction is necessary, and we crave it. I am an extrovert, and I could not handle the sitting on the couch and not being with my people.
Right. Yeah. And so what we're seeing right now in this phase, because to recap, right, it was, okay, this huge epidemic is going to hit, and so we need to prepare. We need to flatten the curve. Okay, the curve was flattened.
Right.
Okay, now it's second wave.
Yeah.
So stay locked down. Stay locked down. And that has a whole nother wave of depression and poverty and just suicide and all these different things.
There's
that
a lot that came from it.
From lockdown itself.
Sure.
So
Well-
now what we're seeing is states open up. Different states. There's red states, blue states, right? So it's like California, New York, they're locked down for. I think Newsom just announced 3 more months, right, of lockdown for LA, or that's California. I don't even know, but either way, Arizona is open, and so people are now leaving other states to go to these free states that have restaurants, bars, pools, different normal ways of living that are able to be lived out.
Well, that's a good point, and let's talk about that on our next episode.